What's up, guys? Andrew Maneshan here from Peak Performance. I'm going to be taking you through today the best method to be able to keep track of your weight, to be able to make adjustments long term, to know that you're on the right track with absolute certainty. So I'm going to share my screen with a document, a similar document to what I use with my clients when they sign up. Now, I'll take you through how to use the document. I'm also going to include a template of the document in the description below, and you can download it and use it for yourself. Now, basically, let me explain what we're doing first of all. So in this document here, we're going to be correlating your weight, which we can see in this section here, the date, you just change the date to suit, any cardio you're doing, any steps you're doing, the calories, protein, macros, and then your measurements. Now, the reason we want to have all this data is because we can start to see what's really happening. You know, there's no more guesswork when we do it this way. So for example, let's start off with weight first of all. Now, your weight fluctuates on a daily basis. As you can see in this example, this is why we would want to weigh yourself every day as opposed to only once a week. Now, let me just change this slightly. Let's just say this 92. All right. Now, as you can see in this example, so your weight fluctuates basically, it could be from many things. It could be you had a change in your sodium intake. You may have eaten Chinese food and there's a ton more sodium one day, which makes you hold on to water. You may have drank more water. You may, if you're a female, you got your period. You could have been stressed and you're holding on to more water. So there's many different factors. You could have weighed yourself at a different time. There's many different factors. You could have eaten at a different time, which is making you hold more weight because you haven't had the chance to go to the bathroom. So there's many different factors at play. This is why weighing yourself only once a week is not the best way to do it, because in this example here, it's like, all right, look at all these fluctuations. And then you weigh yourself at 92. Let's say you had a big night on the Sunday, and all of a sudden, now it's like, oh, I put on 2 kilos. But if you look at the weekly average, you're the same, right? And you're on, yeah. So let me take you through it. You fluctuate daily. So this is just an example of daily fluctuations, 90 kilos, 90.5, blah, blah, blah. And the average of the week is 90.58. Now, in this example here, because I put the high amount of the 92 on Monday, you're still averaging out over to 90.5, right? This is just an example, right? And the difference from week to week, from average to average, is only 0.08, so it's not much. But if I use the example of, you know, if you're actually making progress, now the average is you've lost 370 grams, right? You can correlate how much you've lost with the amount of calories you're having. So the way I've set this up is it automatically calculates the calories. So for example, it's like 200 grams protein, 200 grams carbs, and 100 grams fat, and will automatically calculate the calories based off that. Now, just for the sake of this example, I'm going to copy paste it. All right, so now we can see my average weight was 90.58 kilos. My average calories were 2,500, right? Now, if we do this, again, just so we can see this example. Okay. Just so you can see what I'm talking about here. And I'm also going to copy the steps. So you want to correlate all of this together, and any cardio, write down any cardio you have here so you can see. So if we use this as example, and let's say, you know, this is your weight, you've lost 370 grams, you've been eating 2.5, and obviously the calories aren't always going to be this perfect, but you've been eating 2,500 calories the previous week, and you can see, okay, I've lost 370 grams by being on 2,500 calories. So now you've got a rough idea of what this calorie deficit means for your weight loss. So if you want to speed up this calorie, if you're like, okay, 370 grams isn't fast enough, well, I either need to start doing more steps, I need to do more cardio, or I need to lower my calories more. So you can see what your current activity and your current calories equal in terms of weight loss, a much more accurate representation of this. Now, the other thing you can also add in, which I don't do every day, I do it once a week, but you can start to see your measurements as well, and you can correlate that as well. So for example, if you're, and again, you have to be accurate with your measurements, you have to do it at the exact same spot every time. But for example, if I'm losing weight, and let's just say it's a kilo per week, I'd be looking here and be like, am I losing muscle too? So you can start to see, if you start seeing your chest is going down, 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 your arms going down, 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 your thighs going down, down, down. So, well, man, you better slow the fuck down because you're losing too much muscle mass, right? Whereas if you could see your chest and arms were staying the same, your waist was getting smaller, and everything else stayed the same, you're like, well, it's pretty clear you're losing body fat, right? So there's a few different markers on this document which make it much easier to keep track of your progress long term, so you know that you're actually getting the results that you want to be getting. Now, just to make the point clearer, let's say we've seen this and we're like, okay, I don't want to go lower calories. I don't want to increase my steps, but I can add cardio because I want to lose faster than 370 grams. So, all right, well, let's do the same thing next week and add 30 minutes cardio 3 days a week as an example. All of a sudden, if you lose, let's say this says 500 grams, you're like, okay, cool. I'm happy to lose 500 grams per week. Let's keep this up, right? You would keep this up until it slows down. Now, you don't have to adjust every week because sometimes there's other factors that come into play. Maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every 3 weeks. As you know, weight loss isn't a linear process. You're not always going to be losing consistently downwards. You know, it might be down, down, stall, down. But as long as the overall trend of a month at a time, 2 months, whatever, is on a downward trend, you're good, right? But this just takes a lot of guesswork out of it. So again, weigh yourself every morning. It's not that difficult. This whole document, look, it looks like a lot, but it's not even going to take you a couple minutes a day to fill it out. Now, some straight up truth here. If you aren't bothered, if you think this is too much work, you don't deserve to be in good shape, right? To actually get the best results possible, you need to track in some form or another. It's all well and good to say, oh, I'm eating healthy. How much healthy? People bulk on healthy. What's to say you're not eating bulking calories on healthy? This is why understanding how much you're intaking, keeping track of it is definitely worth it. You're going to get the best results possible, right? So again, all you have to do, track your food on MyFitnessPal. I've got another video on this on my channel as well. Now, you would just have to copy that data over. If MyFitnessPal says you have 200 grams protein, 200 grams carb, 100 gram fat, copy that here. It takes 2 seconds. It's not going to take that long. Copy your steps from however you're tracking it. Now, this document is what I've been mainly talking about on this video is mainly about fat loss. Obviously, you can do the same thing for muscle gain. It will be in reverse. You would ideally be aiming for, let's just say, call this 92, 92. Now, all of a sudden, you've gained 170 grams per week, right? So, you know, if there's no minus, it's a plus. If there's a minus, it's obviously a minus, right? So, guys, I think I've covered pretty much everything on here. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next video.